Colleague, I thank you for those opening remarks. And before I go into my formal remarks, I would like to also extend Happy New Year to the members of the media who are here with us today, colleagues and persons who are listening live, particularly the good people of a district for whom I've had the privilege to serve and represent over the years. I'll also like to express my sincerest condolences to persons who have lost loved ones in the year. We had a lot of persons who have lost loved ones, particularly in my district, Eastern and Lalo community. And I want to express sincere condolences to those individuals and their families, and particular myself, who is not, who have also lost an uncle who we're laying to rest over the weekend on Saturday. I want to extend gratitude for the persons who've expressed condolences to my family on the passing of my uncle, Charles Penn. And I would also like to join my colleague in offering condolences to the family of the young man of just of 20 years old who lost his life to gun violence just a few days ago in the Pustler Estate community. And we're seeing an uptick in this type of activity in our community. And I again express to persons who are involved in this type of activity to cease and desist and find more amicable ways to solve your differences and your disputes. And this leads to my topic of discussion this afternoon, the issue of the economy. And there's a direct correlation in terms of economic inequality and crime. And we're seeing that particularly as we engage persons through our district office, and my district office in particular, you see many of our young men are persons who are unemployed or underemployed, seeking employment, whether it's through government service, private sector, or through now what has been the only game in town, the government's rated program. And you've seen a large number of young persons who are unemployed in the territory. And that speaks to, my colleague mentioned earlier, the sluggish nature of our economy. I've often said, and I've said it in this room particularly, that we don't have particularly a money problem in this country. We have a management problem. And the numbers bear this out. We've seen over the last two budget cycles where the government's projected revenues has either hit the target or exceeded the target in both 2023 and 2024. But what we've also seen is that the government's inability to manage the resources for which they've collected on behalf of the people of this territory. In 2023, we had over $50+ million unspent of capital expenditure that should have gone to develop the local economy. We've seen again, and in this very room as well, I mentioned that in 2024, that number will be even more than what we projected. In 2020, when we just recently went through the budgetary process, we've seen where over 50, and this is not my words, these are the words from the budget book of the government of the Virgin Islands, where over $58 million again of capital expenditure went unspent. This is over $100 million over a 2-year cycle that should have gone in the development of the economy, should have gone to small businesses who are struggling, who should have gotten the opportunity to deal with the infrastructural and development issues of this country, monies that have gone back into the treasury and not into the economy to benefit the people of this territory. $100+ million unspent, yet we have the road infrastructure in our country in the current condition that they are in. Being Eastern Landlook, the community which I represent and co-represent with the Premier of the Virgin Islands, the Minister of Finance, have some of the worst roads in this entire territory. Something that has stretched the entire territory, and we see no relief anywhere in sight. Yet we have over $100 million back into the treasury. The water issue in this country. The issue of water has now reached a stage that is a state of emergency needs to be called with the issue of water. Months on end, persons within this country don't have the benefit of potable water, the use of potable water within their communities or within their homes for their families. In a 21st century, the BVI is relegated to persons having to still fill bottles of water in pans of buckets of water to bathe and do the necessities for themselves and their families, while you have over $100+ million going back into the treasury. We do not have a money problem, people of the Virgin Islands. We have a management problem. People are incapable of managing your resources on behalf of you and yourself. The only persons that are the only person that are mainly affected by this is you, the people. You're the ones who have to pay the exorbitant mechanic bills every month because your car is in a state of disrepair. Constant changing of tires because of the poor road conditions throughout this entire territory, not just particularly in my community. The issue that my colleague mentioned in terms of maintenance, yes, we see an uptick in persons who are coming via cruise tourism and the direct flight, and we are happy that those things are happening, and we're happy that we're welcoming persons to our shores. But what are we welcoming into? We are unable to do basic maintenance of the roadways, basic maintenance of the bush and thing, and that we need to keep the country in a state of readiness or preparedness to welcome persons to our shores. I'm close to my time. I want to make this last and final point, leader of the opposition and colleagues. We have yet again in this budget cycle over $60 million budgeted for infrastructural improvements in this country, 29 million of which is coming from the new $100 million loan facility. Over the last two budget cycles, the government has proven its inability to execute on behalf of you, the people of these Virgin Islands. In fact, in the last budget cycle, I asked a question specifically about the unspent loan funding from the CDB loan that was borrowed some almost 6 years ago. Of that money, we've paid over $2.269 million in commitment fees because we have the money sitting in a bank account unspent. When we have all of these challenges that we've expressed in terms of the infrastructure, the water infrastructure, and all the other main infrastructural projects that we have to do in this country. We have a complex. We spend $10 million a year, and we still have an administrative complex that has gone unfinished for the past 7+ years. And we see nowhere in sight where we will get that particular facility back up and running. I'll stop there because I think I've exceeded my time allotted, but I have more to say on the matter of the poor infrastructure, the economic challenges, but I think it's fair to let my colleagues have their chance to speak, and I'll answer any questions that was asked during the course of this press conference. I thank you.